Hello and welcome to Tech with Heart. I am your host, Michelle-Calloway. Tech with Heart's all about empowering entrepreneurs and small business owners to embrace technologies and systems and strategies that'll help them stay competitive and relevant in a rapidly changing digital landscape. And AI has just been flipping businesses on their head, and we're here to talk a little bit about strategy while incorporating AI. So our topic today is using AI and adaptability in your business coaching. So this is really great if you're somebody who's out there providing a coaching type or consulting type business service to others. And with me, I have a very special guest. He's an educator and he's a heart-centered innovator as well. His name is Kevin A. Dunlap. And he is a serial entrepreneur with over 20 years experience, and he's a 4-time best-selling self-published author, and he is also the founder of Optimal Performance Academy, which is a school for entrepreneurs. So similar to Tech with Heart, he's all about empowering you, the entrepreneur, to be successful. So help me welcome to the Tech with Heart stage, Kevin A. Dunlap.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, Michelle. Thank you.
We're happy to have you. And I think that this topic is very exciting. So I know you and I spoke a little bit. You have this thing called the Roadmap to Business Success, something along those lines. But we're going to talk today about solutions. So what about a specific solution can you talk to business owners in the coaching arena as far as what is the importance, and go ahead and share what you have about that specific business solution.
A topic that I called a specific solution has 3 different aspects to it, 3 different parts to it, and depending on what kind of a coaching business or what kind of problems or challenges that you're solving, you can use any of these different 3, and then some of these can also even build upon each other. Now, when I talk about a specific solution, the first part is what most people do, and I call this a solution series. And this is essentially is that when you're solving somebody's problem for somebody, is that you're actually going to be doing it in steps. So one problem is going to be solved. It may cause another small problem. You're going to solve that one, and you go through a series of different small solutions. And this is what I feel is what most coaches do. Somebody comes to them for, they have a challenge or a problem or a situation they need to overcome, and that coach actually goes through the process of, take them through the steps they need to go through. Now, this is perfect. This is ideally perfect for those who are just starting out. Those people that are just, maybe they're startups, or they may be in the business for a year because they're teaching their own intellectual property solution that's what they do. However, as they get more business, then they can actually start blending into other areas of this specific solution. One of those areas is what I call a sales funnel. Now, most people know what a sales funnel is. They're going deeper into your funnel where the deeper they go, the more expensive it's going to be, and there's going to be the fewer people. And what I'm calling the sales funnel is also based upon that technique. And essentially what that is that when you are building your business and you want to get additional revenues of income, is you start actually using the solution series that you've already created, and then you start creating other things that are based around that. As an example, let's say you're a coach and you solve this one specific problem, and then maybe you write a book about it. And then that book could be, I want to say maybe 15, 20, 25, 30 bucks. And then maybe you create an online course, or maybe you create an affiliate program. Or maybe you do where the affiliate is actually doing the coaching for you, or then maybe you're doing the coaching yourself. And so what in my avenue of a sales funnel is where you have multiple levels of ways that people can actually digest your material. If somebody, say, for an example, right now can't afford you, or maybe they can afford your book, or maybe they can afford your course. So therefore, the deeper they go is going to be what I call the higher the level of intimacy they have with you. So maybe when you create that, let's say you create a course or you create or write a book, maybe the book's the least expensive. The course is going to be next. Maybe the course is a couple of $100. Maybe they do one type of coaching with you, say a group coaching, and which they could be, say, a couple of $1,000. And then maybe your private one-on-one is going to be by far the most expensive. So that is what that's how I'm talking about a sales funnel. And I know when Michelle and I were talking about when we get to the third aspect of the specific solution, this is where the real big money is. And this is what I call the spiral model. And essentially what that is that when you're taking somebody through a coaching series, when they're done with that one series, most likely what's happened is when you solve their problem is that every time you solve a big problem, it's usually going to cause another problem. And because of that, now you can create other courses to solve those problems. Here is an example of one of them. This is the one that I like to use because it's the most visual. Let's say you are a health coach and you want to help people, let's say middle-aged men who are in their 40s or 50s. So we're getting kind of specific in who your target market is, and they are to get to a certain goal weight. So maybe they want to get from a double XL or 3XL shirt size, they would get them down to a large or maybe even a medium. So you're going to be really, really working with those people. The problem is that when you're taking them through the solution series, the problems that you're going to be solving are their eating habits, their exercise habits, their sore muscles. Those are all part of the solution series. However, when they're actually done with the course, they're going to have other problems. In the case of this one would be, let's say somebody went from a 3XL down to a medium or even a large. Well, the next problem that they have is their clothes don't fit. So they have to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe. So maybe you have an affiliate partnership with somebody else. That's a color coach or a dress coach or something along those lines. So that's another problem that you're going to be solving. Now, once they get their clothes and they're all fine and dandy, they all look fine and dandy, maybe they have a confidence issue now. So now let's work on your confidence now. So that'd be another program that you can do. So this is a spiral of different courses that you can use that spiral into each other. That's why I call this the spiral model. And the beauty of this is that you don't even have to be the one that solves those other problems. That's when you start having affiliate partnerships or joint ventures with other people, because now you guys can feed back and forth on this. So this is the beauty of the specific solution, is you can solve a lot more problems than the one that you thought you're going to be solving, and you can actually build a much bigger business by doing basically the same thing that you're already doing.
Yeah, you covered a lot there, and it's kind of like, let's unpack that a little bit. Let's just kind of paint the picture. So as a business owner, usually you're solving a pretty big problem. That's why people will buy your services or buy your product. What he's essentially saying is that typically you're not going to be an expert in all the realms. And so you're going to want to partner up. So there's this thing called upstream and downstream. So if you have a partnership with somebody who maybe can help you get your leads from them because they solved the first part of the problem, but you solved the second piece, and then you can partner with somebody else who solves then the problems that arise after you've helped solve the first problem that they had. So there's always this journey, and it's so great. This is where business strategic planning really comes into play, because if you're just out there doing what you're doing and you don't think strategically, you could potentially be losing a tremendous amount of recurring business, whether it be your partner's doing it and you're just receiving some sort of a recurring commission that way, or et cetera. There's different partnership levels. There's different ways to partner, but the idea here is to think outside of your own box, realize from the customer's perspective what their needs are going to be prior to when they need you and after they have experienced you, and just think about how you can. The idea here is that once you get a good quality customer, you want to figure out a way to make them so overjoyed because you keep solving more and more problems for them. They're just like, oh, you got to go. They're going to tell all their friends, go connect with Kevin, right? So that's just my little synopsis, Kevin. What do you think?
I fully agree with that, because there are so many, because I call these people your power partners. These are the people that that you can build your business on. Now, I mean, let's go back to say my past. A few years ago, I used to be a real estate agent, and I had power partners that were lenders, that were inspectors, that were credit repair people, that were painters, contractors. So most businesses can't interact with other businesses. And we were talking about what you were just saying there. An image that came to my mind is, let's say you are a coach or somebody that helps women through pregnancy. So some power partners for you could be those people that sells infant cribs and stuff like that, maternity clothes, maybe even a real estate agent because they're now having a baby. Maybe they need a bigger house. So think outside the box as to who else that can be in something of a similar field that you don't do that you can partner with, and that's how you build your business.
Being able to do business online is crucial for survival, especially during times of social distancing. So how do you survive and thrive in the sea of digital noise? It's a lot like fishing. You need to know who your perfect customer is so that you can use the right kind of lure to attract them. We help you catch your perfect customer and retain them for future sales through highly converting websites, influencer mobile apps, getting you featured in the news and on TV. Hi, my name is Jerry Bowden, U.S. Army veteran and president of Revelio Software Solutions. Our goal is to help you rise above the competition, be seen as an expert authority in your industry, and embrace technology to stay competitive for long-term success. It's more affordable than you may think. So reach out to us at revelio.com, and together we will make your business come alive.
I absolutely love it. So this isn't exactly the AI topic, but we're moving into that. So I know we want to get to the fun meat stuff that we were talking about, AI and adaptability, because they kind of go hand in hand. And I know you're going to explain that. So let's talk about how AI can help a business coach create some of these specific solutions.
What I'm gonna do is I use a Chat GPT as part of one of my AI tools. I know Bard is out there, and I know there's a third one out there as well. And I would say capitalize on those as much as possible. However, whenever you're using AI, especially these ones that write things for you, you have to be very, very specific as to the question that you're asking. If you're not getting the result you want, you just ask it to regenerate or the response, or you just start a new chat so you can get more specific. As an example, I've came up with names of my courses using AI. I've come up with blogs using AI. I've come up with topics for a talk using AI just by going in there. But I'm very specific. I'll say something like, give me 5 topics on blank subject if I was going to go speak on a stage or create a program around that particular subject. Now, if you're looking to how do you solve problems, you can also say, give me a 5-step process to take somebody from A to B, and they will give you a 5-step process. Now, you can refine that, or you can make it a 6-step and 4-step or whatever. But the thing is, you can start using that to give you those ideas. Now, of course, it is up to you to implement those, and not all the topics that you're going to get are going to be good. But the thing is, it's going to actually save you so much time than trying to go out and Google this and Google that and Google that other thing. AI is doing all that Googling for you by creating the content for you. And then once you get that content, then you can either use AI again to break that into smaller pieces, or you can go ahead and just start figuring out exactly how are you going to implement that into your business or into your coaching.
So let's give a scenario, shall we? Let's just pick one industry and come up with a scenario of how, okay, so they figured out that this is the problem that they solve. They know who their target audience is. Now they're ready to start creating content around the solution, because there's different types of content that are needed in order to guide somebody down that sales funnel. Can you just kind of give us an example of a process? Maybe keep it limited, like six or less steps to help them understand how to.
Like right before this call, I went onto ChatGPT and I wrote this up just to see what the response was. I wrote this, and this is quote: give me 5 steps to help someone make a breakthrough in taking a business from 2 employees to 4 employees. So that would just threw that out there just to see what it got. And it gave me fairly long steps. But like number 1, it was to evaluate and refine roles and responsibilities. Number 2, streamline and automate. processes. Number 3 was implement a scalable infrastructure. Number 4 was develop a recruitment strategy. And number 5 was focus on employee development and retention. So, I mean, I was looking at that, like, okay, so that is one thing that I can do. If I did not like that, I could actually have it to regenerate those responses. And now when you're doing this on ChatGPT, for those of you who have never done this before, what I just read was what was the statement that I read was basically the title, and then there was a colon after that, and then it went into a lot more detail in how to do that. So that to me was just getting started with that. And then if I wanted to, I can ask it to regenerate or actually become more specific on certain topics. Like I may say this is for a restaurant, or for a elderly care company. I mean, we can refine this a lot more specifically. And then the thing is with that, you can have multiple chats going on, and then just refine that and see what works for you.
So let's just say you created that, and that would be what you would write up as like part of a training course. You could put it on your website. You can create a blog out of it. You can create a short video about it. You could even dissect it further and use each one of those bullet points that it brought up to create its own blog, so that it's in more detail, because one is kind of an overview and the other one is more a deep dive. You can use this content even to create an ebook as a lead magnet to get people to opt in on your website for something. So these are all different types of content that you can create from AI generated content. But the idea is never to take copy and paste verbatim AI content ever, because there are going to be bots out there that are going to be skimming for AI generated content. So you're going to want to modify all content so that it has a little bit of you in there. I would say about a 20% margin of modifying so that it's unique to you, even though AI did the bulk of the work. I mean, what do you think about that, Kevin?
I fully agree with you on there, and there are bots that are doing that now, because I know once AI became mainstream, one of the biggest issues that came up with people using AI to write their term papers in school. And and that's just, and so having bots to recognize if it's AI or not, it is very important. But yes, you definitely want to have your own language, your own tone in whatever your content that you're creating, because that's because you are your brand, and people fall in love with you as your brand. But if you're writing something that's always going to be computer generated, then there's going to be a disconnect between you and whatever you're writing. So AI is a good tool. It's not to be replace everything.
Absolutely. You want to leverage it as a tool to help you come across stronger, probably more dominant with your keyword usage, so that you're using more power words, but don't get overly power word usage. You want to keep it simple, so that as a coach, especially, you want to make sure that your content that you're educating your clients with is not going over their head. So take it and use, like I use word market dominating position a lot. Well, not everybody fully understands what that means. So, well, what does that mean? So, you want to use phrases like, hey, make sure that you stand out very powerfully against your competitors, so that people will understand why they need to work with you and not your competitors. That is a matter of positioning yourself against your competitors. So that's what market dominating position is. So you just use words that are common as much as possible. And then you mentioned adaptability. So we're talking about AI. So we just kind of covered one great way to use AI. Once you get that content, right, Kevin, you can ask it, okay, now create a social media post for that, or create me a video script for that. You can ask it to help you take that same strategy that you're offering as a solution, and you can bang out like multiple different types of content with it. But now let's talk about adaptability. How do you test it? How do you validate it? How do you need to be adaptable? Can you explain your thoughts around that part of the process?
First of all, you have to be adaptable to start using AI. That's number one, because most people, if you're scared of it, you're not being adaptable enough. But the thing is, you have to test everything. I mean, I have this thing that's called the CTAO method, or CTAO method, which means create, test, automate, and optimize. And yes, you have to test everything. Like you were saying, like I said, with this thing that I just created with ChatGPT, I can use the thing before the colon for me means. And as you say, you use it in so many other areas. But by being adaptable means that you're not completely dedicated. It has to be a certain way, because the way that you're going to be doing it yourself is not necessarily going to be the best way to do it. And I learned that for myself. I find out what's working and what's not working. How can I change? And that's going to be true with anybody, in regardless of the markets that's going on.
So do you
I
want
don't
to
know
go?
if that answers your question.
Yeah, just go over the CTAO a little bit by little bit, so that they understand a little clearer, so that it's not skimmed over so much. Like, what does that process stand for? And just go ahead,
Well, the
describe it.
Satao method was introduced to me by somebody else, and it was all about doing webinars. And so you create your webinar, then you go and test it. So you go and create your stuff. Use your AI to go and create whatever stuff that you're going to be doing. And then you want the second step is you do want to test it. So test it means you put it out there and see what the people's feedback is. If you're running ads, is that ad converting? Is that ad not converting? So you go in there and you keep testing it until you actually can dial it down. And then the third step is then how can you automate? So that's going to be, maybe you're using AI for your automation. Maybe if you're doing a webinar as an example where this was created from, how do you create your webinar to be evergreen? So you're just actually playing and recording. So you're no longer doing that webinar. And then the fourth step is optimize. That's how you optimize, is basically how do you make additional money off of that? And that's where your joint ventures and your affiliate partners come in. So if you've got a thing that sells, and let's say if I've got something that sells, and I share it with Michelle, and Michelle says, "Okay, my audience would love this. Well, let's go ahead and create a campaign and affiliate partnership where now you're marketing my stuff for me, and I'm no longer even involved." So that's what the Satao method is.
Thank you for that explanation, because it's so important that we understand that there's just always processes to everything. And using AI is incredibly intelligent and can really empower you to know what kind of keywords to use. Also, you can use other tools that for Google search engines and stuff like that to identify what keywords people are searching for. There's a lot of tools out there.
Yes.
Kevin, I know that it's a lot for small business owners, working online in a digital world and understanding how to be more competitive by incorporating technologies such as AI. It can feel a lot, like overwhelming a lot. So I know you are a coach and you really, really want to help small business owners just level up and work smarter, not harder, just like I do with Tech with Heart. So how can people reach out to you, Kevin?
Well, they could go on our website. That's probably one of the best ways, so that way they can see everything that we're doing. So again, the name of the company is Optimal Performance Academy, and our website is exactly that as well. It's optimalperformanceacademy.org. And since we are a school, that's the reason I create it that way. And then they can also, on the front page, they can see all the stuff that we're doing, all the free courses that we're giving away, all the free trainings that we're giving away, as well as how to schedule a 60-minute complimentary strategy session, so we can talk about you and your business and strategize as to what's the next best step for you. Sometimes it's going to be working with us, sometimes it's not going to be working with us. So the thing is, why not just take the 60 minutes and learn? And the thing is, the worst thing that you can happen is you learn something. I mean, that's but the thing is that learning after 20 years of being an entrepreneur, that learning from somebody that's been there and has probably done that can very easily take you to that next level and start having you doing new things that could actually stretch your business as well as stretch yourself even. Absolutely.
And so if you're interested in being an online business coach, or you currently are, and you need to create coaching programs or create coaching solutions, Kevin would be a great person for you to reach out to. I hope you take advantage of that. I know, Kevin, we kind of covered a lot in a very short period of time, but what is one thought or a phrase that you really want to leave impressed upon those that are listening right now?
Well, the one phrase that I was thinking about before this would be to always be refining in what you are doing. Always refine that, because what works right now may not work tomorrow. So always be refining on yourself. Always be seeing what's working and what's not working. As part of the Satao method, I mean, in a nutshell. However, that's one thing I would definitely be saying.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. And that is so true. Especially as quickly as technology is changing, you don't need to be putting your blinders on completely. It's good to stay very narrowed and focused on what you're trying to accomplish, but it's also good for you to be tuning in to at least an entity that will be educating you as to what is the most popular trends that are really working right now. And that's where an organization like Tech with Heart Foundation can come in and be a great place for you to just like be tuned in. We are the ones working on staying in the front lines as far as what is indeed relevant and working in today's digital business landscape. So you're welcome to go and join us. techwithheartnetwork.com is a great resource. You can go and you can join our network for free. You will get regular emails. We do enlightenment events. We do empower events. We also have Ask the Expert events. So if you want a business coach input or a business marketing technology experts insights into how to do this or this or that when it comes to either strategies or implementation of technologies, especially around AI, then you can go to our Ask the Expert hour. We host it once a week, every Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific. So it's a lot of resources to you available for free if you want to empower yourself. But if you actually want help doing some of these things, we also have a vetted internet, family where we have experts, part of our community, saying, yes, I'll help you. And so you can trust that they are heart-centered and they care about your success. Somebody like Kevin, right? So go to techwithheartnetwork.com. And if you're an expert and want to share valuable insights to our entrepreneurial audience, you can come on to our stage like Kevin here, and you can teach and share what insights are working for you. And then that will empower others. And let me know. You may be a great fit for our show. Go again to techwithheartnetwork.com. We'd love to hear from you. And here is to your success.
Your story needs to be seen and heard, and your brand needs to be revealed. Revealio elevates purpose-driven businesses into the spotlight through video storytelling, augmented reality video marketing, and professional website design. Get discovered online or in the news. Be featured in national magazines or host your own TV, podcast, or live radio show. Together, we make your brand come alive. All it takes is Revealio. Visit Revealio.com to get started today. Minority and service disabled veteran owned.